Hi there. So this is a little video I'm making for a group that I'm in. So if you're hanging around on one of my YouTube channels and you're wondering what the heck this is, just ignore this, or I guess you can watch if you want, but just move along. So this is video format for those who don't have to have time to sit and read a long post, or maybe you're driving or something and you want to listen to it. But basically, here's a bunch of 100 baby challenge tips. I found it ridiculously easy. like, but then I hear all these people having such a hard time and they're not able to keep track of it. And I've seen a few playthroughs, and half the time I'm sitting there yelling at the screen because I'm like, what are you doing, you imbecile? And I mean, I also program, so maybe I'm just better at working with lines of code than your average person, but yeah. Basically, I'm like, maybe I'll share the love, spread the wealth, and make it, less of an insanity challenge that drains all your mental health, and you can cross it off your list a little more easily without cheats. I do not cheat. I refuse to. It just takes away the fun for me. So here's how you can do it without cheats, and then maybe if you want to make your life a little harder, I guess you can just drop one of the tips if the challenge becomes too easy for you, like it was for me. So tip number one, babies. Babies are the hardest life stage for a lot of people. Well, it's like a tie between toddlers and babies. I'll get to toddlers in a second, but babies, people struggle with them so much and the craving drives them crazy. Look, babies only ever need one thing at a time. If you do more than one thing, you're making your life harder because it resets the cycle. So, one thing at a time. Usually right after they're born, the first thing they'll need is food. So just bottle feed, breastfeed them, be on your way. Don't mess with them after that. And they'll basically, a little bit after they've been fed, they'll use the restroom. So dirty diaper, which is pretty easy to check. They don't need anything else. And then if you've already fed them and they don't have a dirty diaper, then cuddles. Basically rinse repeat. They only ever need one thing at a time. Doing more than that is just making your life harder. And honestly, with that in mind, babies shouldn't be that hard. They're a little boring, but they're not hard. Like, and they're not gonna get taken away if you let them cry through the night. So just let your little, you can just let your matriarch just sleep on through the night. It'll be fine. I have yet to have a baby taken away from me. They will make it, especially since it's usually not food if you've been doing it right. So yeah, and then half the time they'll fall asleep halfway through the night, and then they won't be crying anymore, and you won't have to worry about it till they wake up, at which point your matriarch is probably awake, or one of your teens or something, so poof. Um, let's see, so that's basically babies. That should make babies a little easier. I see way too many people who think they have to, cuddle and rock and coo at and feed, and I watched Little Sims, and she's like, breastfeed, cuddle, okay, and then she was constantly making her life harder on herself because she was doing so much that she was repeatedly resetting the cycle, and it was driving me nuts. And she made her life so much harder than she needed to. So yeah, that's babies. Toddler wise, once again, not as hard as you think. I scoured the internet looking for tips because I was struggling a little bit with it. It was less of a struggle and more, I just wanted it to be a little bit easier. So I scoured the internet. First thing that I do if I'm in a 2-story house is I teach the toddlers to walk. That is the first thing. They learn more quickly in groups, so basically just teach them to dance to level 2 so that they can go up and down stairs. Doesn't matter how fast they can do it, just until they can go up and down stairs. Because high chairs, useless. However, and also, getting leftovers can be glitchy because they can't stand in front of the fridge at the same time. So literally just pull a meal out of the fridge, click, grab a serving. The toddler will do it, they'll go sit somewhere. And multiple people can be grabbing from a plate at the same time, whereas they can't from the fridge at the same time for whatever reason. So that's another general tip. Don't serve breakfast or cold meal. Just pull the meal out. Just have a bulk cooking day on Saturday. Pull the meal out of the fridge. Have everyone come grab it. They'll all be fine. So that's the first thing I do. Movement, you don't really have to worry about. They will most likely they will most likely hit level 5 before you have to worry about it. And then, imagination, just have them play with their toys. Don't use Wabbit Tablet. Wabbit Tablet actually goes up really, really slowly for whatever reason, so while, yes, they can sit and they grind and they won't get bored of it, it's super slow, so don't bother with the Wabbit Tablet. It seems like the greatest invention known to man. It is not. So just have them play with their toys. Pretty much every single toy in the toddler universe builds imagination. So yeah. Other thing, read them to sleep. Number 1, it helps them sleep through the night better. Number 2, it actually raises the person who's reading the story's fun need. So it'll help with stress. They sleep through the night better, and it builds imagination. You do that, they'll be imagination level 5, no issue, or level 3, or I just forget whether it's max skills or level 3 skills, but basically it'll be done before you know it. And then, let's see, for, logic, build blocks till they're bored of it, then do needs flashcards. Build blocks, needs, over and over. Until, someone said till they can ask why, but basically until you hit it. Like, once again, pretty easy, it frees up your matriarch to do other things. You'll get that skill up, no problem. Oh yeah, another tip about the skill building with the toddlers, build their primary skill first. Everything except for, I believe, Charmer has a primary skill. Or no, maybe it's... Oh, I'm forgetting it. It's all but one has a primary skill. And like with Clingy, the primary skill is that they'll get it even faster when they have someone teaching them, so it's just a win either way. And at that point, it doesn't really matter what skill you start with. With the others, like Inquisitive, will be Logic. I think Charmer might actually be Communication, and it'll usually Active or Wild or whatever it is will build movement faster. And so you want to work on the primary skill first, because it'll go up faster regardless. They all have a little skill buff, which is cool. So, FYI. There's pretty much no way to go wrong with that. So work on the primary skill first. The other thing is work on one skill at a time. If you try to work on all of them at once, you're never going to get them done. Work on one skill at a time. And it'll help you power through them a lot more quickly. Because realistically, you just need to power through a toddler so that they can go off and do their own things. So just power, and like, even if that's all your matriarch is doing, the kids and the teens, literally, they don't need anything. They'll be fine. So if you're just working at powering through toddlers, you'll be fine. As well as making money. I'm trying to remember. I didn't write a script or anything for this. I'm purely going off memory here because it's fairly easy for me to remember. But so we got logic, we got movement. Oh yeah, potty. Just have them go potty when they need to. If you've maxed the other 4 skills or done the whether it's level 3 or level 5, can't remember to save my life, but once you're done with those, the other 4 skills, like, and if potty's still not good, just sit potty training for a bit. It won't take that long. It's really not that hard. They take forever to take a dump, so it'll 3 or 4. Yeah, it won't take very long. So yeah, that is how you power through toddlers. Basically, just run them as little autonomous buildings whose job it is to play all day, and they'll be fine. And then one major thing between toddlers and babies and teens and kids and baby daddies, if you make a storyline, if you're trying to keep up with the story, this challenge will be hard for you. 100 Baby Challenge is not made for a storyline. It is not made to be able to keep up with all the deaths and have this deep, intricate plot. The 100 Baby Challenge is not a Machinima challenge. It's not. You can't do it with Machinima style unless you're using cheats, in which case you're not really doing the 100 Baby Challenge, you're just doing another Let's Play that happens to involve a lot of kids. So do not get caught up in your storyline. Don't get caught up in meeting up with all the dads. Just sperm donor and move on. You're literally running a baby factory. That is what the 100 Baby Challenge is. It's a baby factory. So yeah, so don't have her running all over the place or whatever. So yeah, that's basically my thing with toddlers. Have them eat on their own. As soon as they can go potty by themselves, if they can go, get them so they can go potty by themselves. They do learn faster at the matriarch, so if you have someone available, like a teen or a matriarch, handy to potty train them, go for it, but you don't have to. And as I said, if it becomes an issue towards the time that they need to age up, which it shouldn't, or basically if you're done with all the other 4 skills before the potty one's done, just sit and potty train them for a little bit, you'll be fine, and you can age them up and move on with your life. Don't forget the monster nightlight. And with the clingy one, with the clingy trait, I recommend doing logic first, after movement. Basically, after they can walk, after you've done their dominant trait, do logic, because it'll keep them from getting nightmares. Although honestly, it doesn't matter if they have nightmares. If they have nightmares, just have them play with blocks or work on their skills till the mood goes away. It takes about 2 hours. Send them back to bed. It doesn't matter if they wake up late. They'll be fine. It'll be fine. And so you can have them work on their logic skill, and then maybe they'll sleep longer the second time. Don't forget the nightlight, as we all know, because the monster under the bed is stupid. And yeah, if you have any other questions about toddlers, let me know, but it should be, that's the main, you just need to make sure they eat, sleep, and poop. Other than that, they'll be fine. They're not as needy. If they're like, oh, where does everyone go? It's fine. Oh yeah, communication. I almost forgot. Just grind them up on freaking Blarfy the bear. It is so fast. You'll be done by the end of the day with communication. Just endlessly, and it builds up their social too. So if mama's ever not around and they're feeling a little lack of social, just have them hug the bear. They'll be fine. So yeah, kids. The main challenge with kids is the skill. I'm gonna drop this, for whatever reason, a little known secret about fishing. Number 1. Fishing builds skills ridiculously fast. It builds up logic, and it builds it up ridiculously fast. Number 2, it makes money. And because they're skilling up so fast, you'll be rolling in a lot of money, so that helps with the household income. Number 3, it builds up social. So if every day you send your kids out to fish, after they've done their homework, they build their social, they build their skill so that they can get their A in school, and they make money for you. And it's a literal set and forget it. They can go out there and it'd be as long as you bring them in by about 7, they'll be fine. Especially if you have them take care of their needs the second they're home. Fishing is so overpowered, and I consistently use it. It's a no-brainer. You don't have to worry about their needs. It's building fun. It's making you money. It's getting them through school. They age up faster. Bing, bang, boom. Same with the teens. And so, yeah, gardening and fishing are my 2 hour painting. Gardening, I like the more passive income that gardening is. And then when you combine that with fishing, I've never had an issue with money in my game. So yeah, that's basically what to do with kids and teens. Don't worry about the part-time job, just have them fish. It'll make them more money, they'll be less stressed, they'll build their social, they'll be out of your house in no time. And then another thing, so with baby dads, I literally will just go through I don't even go out and meet baby daddies, just as soon as she's popped out her kid, I have her, the next day, I have her go and, just seduce one guy. Not great kisser. Beguiling is a really great trait, because then, you basically talk to them, beguile them, put them in a flirty, and boom, you've got a kid. If you don't do that, it takes, I think, 3 hours tops for me to get them to the point where they can woohoo. Doesn't matter if they're married or not, just go into their house, invite yourself in, get woohoo, be on your way. If they don't come out pregnant the first time, back in the bed. And the most tries I've ever had it take is 4. So yeah, and then you go back, you're pregnant again. Technically you'll age a little bit, but not much. and you should still be able to hit 50 in a generation. You can also do the other method where you just invite the person over to your house, but it's not really necessary. I never really leave my house unless I'm doing it partially because I go off the Sims 3 rules, but also just because it's like, it's just not that hard, you know? And yeah, that's all I can really. If you get bored of the fishing skill, violin's another good one, or violin and music and guitar, those are good ones. And it's just, like I said, I found it ridiculously easy. One sim week and they're gone. And so that's basically the tips I have to keep your Sims aging steadily, keep the toddlers and babies from driving you crazy, and keep a decent bit of money, as well as your sanity. Thank you all for watching. Leave any questions in the comments down below. Facebook comments. I mean, I guess you can comment on YouTube if you want, but like, assuming you're in the group that I'm posting this in and you're watching, like, just comment on Facebook. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have because, as I said, I found the challenge ridiculously easy. See ya.